Aloha and blessings, Light Family. Thank you for being here with me in this now as I sort of launch my YouTube channel again after 2.5 years. It's been a long time since I've uploaded any videos on here because all my videos have been going to Facebook, really. And as I sort of transition away from that platform that's been completely censoring any sort of free thought or going against basically the agenda that they have, it's been important for me to return to this platform, and that's great. It's just helping me get out of my comfort zone. I'm not super keen yet on being on video, and that's why I have the comments off right now. And as I go further, then I will probably take turn the comments back on. But after having my own radio show for 8 years and being guests on other platforms, I do know the bombardment of comments can be overwhelming, especially with these energies and what we're going through right now. But just for me to start, let me just share with you that anything that's shared in this video, I'm going to try to keep things brief, but anything that's shared in this video is not in any way a replacement for your medical or psychological care. It's basically assisting you with my insights and my years of expertise in my field. You are responsible for yourself. You're responsible to take divine right action and for your own discernment. So I want to make sure that that's out there right away. So aloha and blessings on this 11/11 gateway. There is a lot to share, and I'm going to try my best to be as clear and direct as I can. I do have a tendency to ramble a little bit, and I sort of have all the things that I need, around me, checking my lighting, my sound, all of that. And things will improve, but right now I felt that this was the place that I needed to be. It's a very balmy, tropical evening where I'm located, and it's just not possible for me to be sort of cooped up in another room where I maybe would have done this video tonight. So we are in epical times. And if you do subscribe to my newsletter, then you know that I've been sharing about these sort of this shift of ages for many, many years. And it's very interesting that as we're on this at this 11/11 gateway, which I coined the twin ray gateway, that we're also in the 2020 year. So we have this incredible magnetism of the 11/11 twin ray gateway and the 22, which I was shown. And if you go back to my my other videos from a couple of years ago, I was shown that we moved from 22 to 23, and then we are reborn. So I'm shown quite a lot in my precognitions that have always come true, and I'll get into that in a moment. But so we have a few more years of these sort of transparency challenges, and whether this isn't contributing to duality or separation. When I say choose your side, really what I mean is you need to choose what it is that you stand for now more than ever. We say that we stand as light workers, right? We say that we stand and that we are in love, and that we're not, within our self-mastery, that everything comes from a place of love. Except that's not really the truth. The truth is that many still hold judgment and malice actually towards those that are promoting certain, let's say, certain theories or certain knowings. And my motto has always been, you plus me equals we. Together we raise vibrations, and divine love overcomes all things, and only love and light remains. Well, that's not hearsay or fluff. That's actually how I actually live my life. So for those who aren't very familiar with me, my name is Paige Hall, and I'm known as the Crystal Messenger, and I'm the creatrix of a New Earth network, and I'm the creatrix of the Feeding the Light Body 144 Days to Cellular Regenesis. I am a crystal messenger. I am a New Earth consciousness teacher and New Earth visionary, and I am a truth sharer, stemming from a long way lineage of being a dolphin incarnate, a crystalline being at the center of this planet, being a Venusian priestess and mother, and the list goes on and on. And you can go to my website and read more about me in my bio, and I'll be sharing more in the videos to come. So, like I said, there's so much to share. But what I did promise people was that I would share my precognitions. And so that's what I'm going to do it's part of what I'm going to do for this video. Okay. We're in this massive exodus of what's known as the third dimensional matrix. And we've been held in a holding pattern for eons of time. And still, many light workers do not want to look at the shadow, or they don't want to look at the actual aspects of the long sleep, if you will, that has been placed on humanity by a very certain amount of groups of beings that have really hijacked the human consciousness. And I don't want to go into too much of the galactic history, the elite, or what's otherwise known as the Illuminati or the Cabal, or all of that, because there are so many other videos and series that you can discover for yourself. I mean, if it's called for, then I'll go into it maybe in other videos, but because in January I'm going to be launching I have to keep remembering that the camera is up there, that because I'm going to be launching my series Feeding the Light Body at the beginning of the year, I want to really take advantage, I guess, of these next 3 shows that I'm going to do between now and the end of the year, to share really about like what's going on right now and how I can assist you and how we can assist each other. Right now, let's just talk about right now with this gateway. This gateway is showering us with these beautiful divine light particles coming from the meteor showers, coming from this beautiful twin ray energy of this gateway. And it's been set, for this time period, for this astrological magic, for this astrological alignment. Again, I'm not an astrologer, so I'm not going to get into those exact alignments, except all I can say is that, especially now in this gateway, we are being we're being reborn. So it's really important to look at that as to, if you wanted to be reborn, what would that look like? Would you be silencing yourself? Would you be tattling on your neighbor? Would you be you know, just succumbing to the status quo because it's the safety, it's safe, or you think that it's safe? Or would you be actually standing up in this now for your sovereign rights? And would you be wanting your children to come from a place where they're safe, like truly safe, safe from sexual predators, safe from mind control programming, safe with the foods that they eat, safe with their freedom to express and to engage and to share their physical bodies, get their cells as much light and expansion as possible. So it is time to choose, and we're in this epochal time now, and it's going to increase. So as I say, so we've had also spikes from the Schumann resonance, which really is the heartbeat of Gaia, as some say. But really, it's the measurement of the really the geomagnetic activity, that cosmic communication that's coming from the planet, you know, and her inhabitants, that are how we're all expanding and dealing with these energies and with the choices. And it's so it's been spiking. The Schumann resonance has been spiking, and we have a very high level of, magnetism. We've had solar flares that have been shooting off from our beautiful star, Solaris, and so we have radiation that's pretty high, and so all of these factors create a multi-dimensional experience for us. And you know, many years ago, I had a radio show. I was co-host of a radio show called the Mind Body Spirit Hour. And oh my goodness, you know, the backlash from the spiritual community was nobody wanted to talk about the physical body, and yet it was, to me, I was always shown that when we have these vessels, you know, we're in a body, you know, for a reason, and that reason is to anchor these energies here, to live a life in a vessel here. Okay, a multi-dimensional, higher frequency aspect of ourselves, very different than we did in Atlantis and Lemuria. Again, that's for another show. So I was always sharing about the physical body. And so when we have these symptoms, and some people, you know, coin them ascension symptoms, really, that's fine. It's really about this, you know, the deep clearing out on a cellular level. So whether you call those ascension symptoms, you know, I want to say that just because somebody could be more telepathic or more psychic or etc., doesn't necessarily mean that they're vibrating on a higher frequency. Okay, it just means that they're, you know, part of their light body is switched on and integrated. It doesn't mean that they're fully integrated. And so my template, Feeding the Light Body, is about that, the complete light body integration, and how you can actually accelerate this process within 144 days. And it's not for the faint of heart. It's a very integrative and intense template. But it was downloaded to me over 5 years ago, and then it just suddenly made sense that my whole life would be about this, let's say, the becoming crystalline of the human vessel, the human being. All the DNA would be reactivated, and that's why it is so difficult for a lot of the new souls who come into this planet now to integrate here, because we're still operating on a third dimensional control matrix from a fourth dimensional astral perspective. So what do we do from here? So I'm already aware of how much that I want to share with you, and that I will need to spread these videos out in a series. I would like to close with just taking a moment. I have my crystal bowl mallet there. I'd like to be able just to center, and before I say goodbye tonight, but I'd like to share with you, I guess, then some ways that I have been shown the significance about this time. Now, I've always been, I would say the strongest for me has always been my clear cognizance. Now, years and years of teaching psychometry, psychic development, and giving, obviously, readings as well, and working directly with my guides, specifically for the healing on a cellular level for the body, physical body, and being very accurate on predictions, just because of my clear cognizance. Now, we're all master manifestors on all realms. And what I mean by that is, in some realms or some dimensions, it's more important to us than others because of what our priorities are. And so I've always had very accurate precognitions, and that's why people would come to me. And so I'm highly accurate because I'm able to tune into a person's light body and their field, as well as their crystalline frequency, which never lies. So the crystallines, the crystals, and my guides gave me a formula that is really foolproof, because it really is just a direct path, a direct channel. It's a direct story from your frequency, which does span throughout lifetimes and into, your cosmic birth and so on. So let me get back to a little bit about these precognitions. Let me just have a sip of water. Thank you. So getting back to some of the precognitions that I've had, and if you want me in future videos, especially between now and the end of the year, if you want me to elaborate on them, then I can. I've always known that since I was a girl, that something wasn't right about being on this planet in this body. It was more that, the adjustments, I had to keep upgrading my frequency and the light particles, especially to be crystalline. But there was something more. It was, there was an overlay of what I was shown was a massive manipulation. And so this manipulation was shown to me, as a grid worker, where these sort of pockets of manipulation were being kind of like mapped out. And so I was always aware of this sort of control or manipulation, and I was always, I guess, pushing back from the system. So I was always, maybe the black sheep of the family in a sense. A lot of issues that I had to deal with, being so psychic and so empathic, and with the really immense healing abilities that I've always had. And I was never able to conform into a job or career that dulled me down. It would actually make me physically ill, and then it would make me actually become really mentally ill. I wasn't able to sustain that frequency. I was not able to dull myself down so much in order to comply with what I knew was a massive manipulation on society. So, even as a girl, I was always telling my mother, who was an exceptional medium and healer, and was the assistant pastor of a spiritualist church. That's kind of how I grew up. And so she would always, she knew how psychic I was, and she knew that I was able to predict my own future. And it's amazing because I really did predict my own future, and I told her exactly what I was going to do all the way up to the year of 2012. And then after 2012 was when things got really interesting. It was after 2012, and let's just say that everything I did say to my mother did come true. It was a map. I had mapped it out. I knew exactly what it was. I knew exactly what I was doing, and everything did happen. Not to say that everything was, fabulous, because it wasn't, but I already knew what I had put into place for this incarnation. So, flash forward then to receiving these precognitions, one of which was 9/11. I'm very familiar with the frequency of 9/11. Very familiar with the frequencies of weather, and when weather is being tampered with. So I'm very familiar. I know that frequency. Let's put it that way. I know and can tap into the frequencies of certain portals, ley lines, and gateways. So as a grid worker and a gatekeeper, that's just second nature to me. Because also of my connection with the galactics, which again, that's another video. So, I would say in 1999, which is the 999 portal, specifically on November 20th of 1999, was when my mother passed on. She crossed over. And that was a massive opening for humanity, that again I'll have to get into in another video. But flashing forward to one morning in early 2014, when I was laying in bed, and Archangel Metatron actually flashed the numbers 999 right in my my third eye, and I jolted up from bed and I asked, what was this about? And I was specifically told that it was the beginning of the end. And so, of course, I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know what that meant, except at that point onward, my life took an incredible, I would say, a really different, it just took a totally different turn. My tribe changed, my marriage changed, my I had so many different aspects that changed. But now this is after 9/11. I'll have to give you my the history of 9/11 and my experience with that precognition and what actually happened and what my role was. But what I was shown on the portal of the 999 on September 9th of 2016. I was actually on the island of Hawaii. I work with the hurricane vortex energies. I'm always called by usually by the goddess to work with the hurricane vortex energies. So I worked with these energies to basically I was shown what is to be beneficial, and I was shown what was unbeneficial. And so usually they're back-to-back hurricanes of a twin flame nature, which is very important for today's portal of the 1111 twin ray gateway. And so I was shown which frequencies needed to be shifted and rearranged. And then I'm sort of thrust right into the eye of the hurricanes, for the energies to work themselves out, and then for the I'd say damage on the ground, and for humanity to be less than what it would have been. So that started a massive shift for humanity and the planet on September 9th of 2016. And this shift is going to continue until September 9th of 2025, which will close this 9/9 portal and the energies of 9. And again, I'll have to get into that in a different video. So I was shown in early 2017, I was shown this entire timeline that we are in now. And this is massive because we do have the ability as humanity to wake up and to shift and change this timeline. So let me say something. Let me share something with you. So in these, in this, what I was shown was a few things. So let me explain. Some more water. Thank you. So what I was shown was I was brought to this gathering. And I was brought to this gathering of this this room. It looked like it couldn't have been, didn't look like it was like a very expensive place or, convention center, but I knew it was very important because they were pouring champagne. And there was all of these sort of clone-looking women, mostly women. The women looked cloned. They were very sort of that Stepford wife sort of, artificial intelligent, really looking, all just looking very much robotic, transhuman, really. So they all looked like that. I was invited to come in. I came in. I sat down at the table, all these round tables. And I looked around the room, and of course I recognized a lot of other people there. Some of them are light workers, actually, that are quite popular. And some were very elite figures that we all know. And some were not. Let me explain. Some were dressed, some were dressed in blue suits, and they had a human body, but they had a I want to say like a salamander reptilian head. Okay. And they were the speakers, and they were sharing the agenda about what was expected of everybody that attended. And I realized that what was happening, and I stood up and I said, no, I do not consent, I do not agree to this. And they came up to me and they took my champagne away, and they said, well, then you can't, you don't get what we have, right? Which, I didn't care, I didn't want it, I didn't even know why I was even there. So then as I was leaving, this robotic female came to me and pointed this laser thing right at my third eye. And she tried to scan me, and I knocked it away from her, and I said no. And I went running down this long corridor and was greeted by a very tall, sort of, I want to say Nordic, but it wasn't. He wasn't Nordic because he was actually a very tall, black, muscular man. And he wanted me to come into this room. So I went into this room, and then he said, "We've been waiting for you." And when I opened the door, there were dozens and dozens and dozens of children. And in this room, they all came running up to me. They knew at that point that when I was there, that they were free. And I opened the door, and they all went running out, and they were free. Okay, now there's that. Now flash forward again to another precognitive dream that I have. They're all come true. So I'm sure you can sort of figure out the one I just shared with you. So then this next precognitive dream that I had, vision, was that I was on a plane, and every time I got on this plane, I was flying. We would take off, and we would all have to be in sections. Each one of us had to be in sections. We were strapped in. We had to be in sections, and we were sort of taking off, but we didn't take off. It was like a mock taking off, a mock takeoff. And the next thing I knew, we were down this winding road, and everybody on the plane that was on the road, on this road, we all looked at each other because we knew we were being taken somewhere that wasn't where the destination that we were supposed to go. And when we got there, right away, there was not the military, but militant beings, some human, some not, and they were segregating everybody into rooms in these concrete buildings. Okay, and it was dangerous. It was not a you felt good about it, you felt safe. You knew it was dangerous. And then this is something to share with you, is that then the next thing I knew, I had escaped, and I was running through this sort of I'm gonna say it was an Asian jungle, and there was a woman, a very well-known woman into today, political, and I was being chased by her and an Asian younger man in this Asian jungle, and they were chasing after me with a needle, with a syringe and needle, and I couldn't keep running. I was exhausted. They just kept running and running and running and running, and I fell, and then they tried to inject me, and I said, obviously no. And then the next thing I knew, I was placed into this other concrete building, and it was all women that were lined up to be receiving these vaccines, these injections. And I looked at the people, the women that were giving these vaccines, and they were all, like I said, transhuman. They were all very robotic, but you wouldn't know it unless you actually looked very closely. And I remember screaming to everybody, to the women, you need to get out. They're going to try to take your children and vaccinate you. I had this dream over and over and over again for 2 years. And it was really, it upset me so much that I would just wake up, you know, just praying that this was never going to happen. So just like 9/11, when this started to happen, and I became aware of this actually was going to happen in December of 2019, I knew in my heart that we'd reach that timeline. And I also was shown the frequencies of this virus, if you will, of this, I'm going to call it a viral program, okay? The frequency has the same exact frequency as 9/11. And what I mean by that is that they both vibrate to the same frequency. So it's already been an agenda on humanity for a control and depopulation. And now I don't want to get into it any more than that in this video. I'm already going over, and I will kind of close in a sense with the latest precognitive dream that I had, vision, and it startled me. Regardless of what your feelings are for President Donald Trump, and I'm not going to go into any controversial, rhetoric, nothing. I'm not going to do that. So in one of the latest visions that I had, which has already come true very quickly after, was okay, so President Donald Trump was with me, and he was really tired, and he was saying to me, he was saying that he's really tired, but that he didn't want me to worry, that he was wondering how he's going to, continue to do this, to free humanity, but that he was tired. But then he kept assuring me over and over and over again that he didn't want me to worry, that everything was going to be all right. And then as I was coming out of the vision, I keep forgetting to look at the camera, I'm so sorry. As I was coming out of the vision, I saw a bullseye, and it was blue. And I knew that what that meant was that there was going to be a hijacking of the presidential election. It was going to be taken from the president, not in a moral or legal manner. So I'm going to leave that there and close it with, then I was in the White House, actually, and when I opened the door, when I knocked on the door, actually Obama answered the door and handed me a piece of paper and wanted me to fill out this form. And I had hid some things underneath the sofa, and so I was going to get those things. And a woman came out of the kitchen area, and she said to me, I cannot believe that he had the, whatever you want to, to actually open the door. And, and she told me, what was going to come. So there we go. There's some precognitive visions for you. I'll leave that there. it's really important that right now we are incredibly discerning of what is right, of what the right divine action is to take. It's really important that we do not silence ourselves right now, because there is a lot to come. We need to stay clear. We must have clarity. We must remain in the highest state of what I call of oneness. We must expect the best, and we must let go of stress. This is exceptionally important right now as we move into the next portal, which is the 1212. Now this is going to be another massive portal. I'm going to do another video on December 1st. So if you would please subscribe to this channel, subscribe to my newsletter because it's free, and I give generous discounts, and I offer free meditations for subscribers. And on each YouTube video that I do, I'm going to be offering a giveaway. So in a moment, I'm going to draw some names of subscribers in the US that have shared the channel and that have shared my Facebook posts and etc. So but for the December 1st video, I'm going to do a drawing for those in the that are international outside of the US with a giveaway. So I know this has gone on much longer than I wanted to, and there's so much more that I actually wanted to share. I'm a little nervous about being on video because of the amount of attacks that I've been through in the past. But we are not going to be forced into submission. That's definitely not why we're here. We're not here to be gaslighted. We're not here to be, well, this is an alignment. This is definitely the energies of the witch trials, actually, where we can be, when you're doing what's right, even though some are saying it's not right, they're going to try to make you look like you are a traitor or that you're crazy. And we're not going to comply with that tyranny again. So again, thank you so much for being here with me. Again, there's so much more I want to share. So let's maybe just close then with I'm going to draw the names just so you know it's fair. It's all fair. I'm just going to draw the winner of the Divine Love elixir. Let's see. So the winner is Kenneth Rice. So Kenneth, I'll be in touch with you. I believe that you're one of my Facebook friends. And you're going to receive my Divine Love Alchemy elixir, which is my, you know, expression of gratitude and love for you subscribing and sharing this channel. And you're also going to receive the Unity Grid. And so next, on the next show, it'll be a different product or service that can be offered internationally outside of the US. So congratulations, Kenneth. And I would like if we could just maybe all just take a nice deep breath and just hold some of the higher frequencies of divine love within our higher heart. And as we anchor the frequencies of divine love, it will always remain truth. That divine love overcomes all things. And only love and only light remain. And that's because we say so. And so it is, and so be it. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Subscribe and share and all that jazz. And hop on over to my website, pagehall.love, and you can learn a little bit more about me. And there are other videos on my channel that are, from years past. And I'll see you all again on December 1st. Be kind, be compassionate, forgive those that are just awakening, and do what's right. Lots of love.